In this video, we'll discuss operational definitions. So in the previous video, we talked about variables and how sometimes we had to develop a construct for those. And that construct needed a very precise definition. So we call that precise definition an operational definition. So that operational definition is going to define or identify the set of operations that are required to measure the construct. So the resulting measurements, how you measure that construct, basically define that hypothetical construct. So in the previous video, we talked about trust and how trust, the resulting measurement was the amount of money given to participant 2. So the amount of money that participant 1 gave to participant 2, that measurement defined the level of trust. The more money given, the more trust that individual had, regardless of what increased, if it was oxytocin or something else. An example for depression might be we measure depressive symptoms using the Beck Depression Inventory. Or for anxiety, the Hamilton Anxiety Response Scale. For intelligence, IQ tests. For fear, maybe heart rate, galvanic skin response. Now keep in mind, for all of these different constructs, there could be different ways to measure them. And you'll have an activity that'll give you the opportunity to do some development of operational definitions. So how do we develop an operational definition? We need to look to the research. So yes, you could come up with your own measurement for depressive symptoms or anxiety or emotion or whatever it may be, but we want to consult previous research to determine the best ways to measure a variable. Now for your studies, your experiments, I'm going to strongly urge you to use existing measurement scales. That way, because we're going to talk in the next couple of videos about measuring validity and reliability and the different types. That way you don't have to worry about measuring the validity and reliability of your scale that you've developed. Other classes that you go on and take, you'll end up developing some sort of survey or scale or a test to measure different things. That's part of psychology. Not that this class is to help you learn how to do experimental research. So of course, there's limitations on operational definitions. There's concerns about the quality. Are they really measuring what they designed to measure? Do they leave out important components of a construct? So I'm just going to give you two examples of different ways to define the construct of aggression. So one is the hot sauce paradigm. So in the hot sauce paradigm, participants are told to give a portion of hot sauce to a participant who they know in particular does not like spicy stuff and will have to eat all of what they're given as part of a taste test. This usually comes after some sort of activity that is thought to increase aggression, maybe playing a violent video game, and the taste test is hidden as another part of the experiment. The amount of hot sauce measures the level of aggression. So again, you have this external variable, which is maybe playing violent video games. The construct is aggression, and you're measuring the amount of hot sauce given. Now, is it really measuring aggressions? The first study that it was used in had students read political view papers, and they found that students allocated more of the hot sauce to students that had differing political views than their own. So is this really aggression, or is it anger? Or is there a difference between the two? So that's the question. Is it really measuring, is it a microaggression type of thing? Or is it just, I'm angry because they have a different view than me? Or is that the same thing? Another way to measure aggression in experiments is the noise blast paradigm. That's also known as a Taylor paradigm. So after participating again in something that's thought to induce aggressive behavior, the participants are told they can push a button that will deliver a loud sound to the other participant. The louder and stronger the noise blast, the more aggressive the behavior. Now, I'm not going to show it to you here, but if you press on this link, you can, in the lecture notes, you can actually see a short video by Bushman that talks about this paradigm. So is this aggression, or is it competition? Because the first and the fastest to the button gets to deliver the blast. So again, sometimes they include extra components that are maybe not part of the construct being measured. So again, here we had our trust game. So it kind of appears to be measuring trust, but could it be measuring something besides trust? So we're saying that the amount of money that participant 1 gives participant 2 measures the level of trust they have at that given moment. Could it maybe be measuring generosity? Maybe that individual is just a more generous person. Or maybe it's mathematical understanding that the money triples and then they can get some back. So, there's other things that perhaps that trust paradigm could be measuring. And so that's something you have to worry about with your operational definitions when you're looking at your constructs.